The day the sky turned black, the world did not end with fire. It ended with silence. At first, people thought it was a solar eclipse. The light above New York faded. London grew dim. Tokyo's bright towers looked like shadows. But this was no moon passing in front of the sun. It was metal. Thousands of massive ships covered the sky. They were so large that clouds moved around them. Their engines glowed blue like cold stars. They did not rush. They did not attack. They simply arrived. In space, satellites went dark one by one. Military radar systems failed. Fighter jets tried to take off, but their systems shut down midair. Across every screen on Earth, phones, TVs, billboards, a single symbol appeared. A golden crown above a broken planet. Then a voice spoke. Calm. Deep. Powerful. This world is now property of the Imperial Dominion. Resistance is pointless. People froze in fear. The Galactic Empire had been rumors before. Stories from deep space explorers. Lost colonies. Silent star systems. Now the rumors were real. Within 2 hours, alien ships lowered into the atmosphere. Long black carriers hovered over major cities. Drop ships fell like rain. Strangely, there were no explosions. No cities burned. No buildings collapsed. Alien soldiers marched through streets in perfect lines. Tall. Armored. Silent. Governments tried to respond. Leaders called emergency meetings. Nuclear codes were prepared. But the codes did not work. Launch systems were locked from the outside. The Empire had taken control before anyone even saw them coming. In orbit, inside the largest warship ever built, Emperor Kaler watched Earth on a wide glass screen. His golden armor reflected the planet's blue oceans. So fragile, he said. An officer stepped forward. My Emperor, there is minimal military resistance. Human fleets are not responding. Kaler frowned. Not responding? Yes, Emperor. Their major naval bases are empty. That made him pause. Empty. Earth had thousands of warships. Defense stations near Mars. Weapon platforms near the Moon. But scanners now showed abandoned docks. No evacuation ships detected, the officer added. Kaler leaned forward. If humans had run, there would be signs. If they were hiding, there would be heat signals. But Earth felt calm. Down below, alien troops entered military headquarters across the world. They found clean floors. Cold rooms. Inactive systems. It looked like soldiers had simply walked away days ago. One alien commander reported, "It is as if they expected us." In the dark side of the Moon, deep beneath solid rock, a hidden human control room came alive. Large screens showed every alien ship in orbit. Every troop movement. Every signal. General Armin Reyes stood in the center of the room. His face was steady. No fear. No panic. Confirm Phase 1, he said quietly. A young officer answered, Phase 1 complete. All surface defenses withdrawn. Underground cities sealed. Civilian relocation at 98%. Armin nodded once. Let them believe they have won. Back in orbit, Emperor Kaler gave the final command. Announce planetary surrender. Across Earth, the alien symbol appeared again. Humanity, the voice said, kneel and serve. Or face extinction. On the surface, there were small protests. Small acts of fear. But no large rebellion. The Emperor smiled. Pathetic, he whispered. Then something small happened. One scout ship near Mars vanished. No explosion. No debris. It simply disappeared from all sensors. An officer quickly reported, signal lost from Scout Vessel 47. Mechanical failure, another officer guessed. Kaler waved it away. But then 2 more ships near the asteroid belt went dark. No distress calls. No damage reports. Just gone. For the first time since the invasion began, the Emperor felt something he had not felt in centuries. Uncertainty. On Earth's surface, alien soldiers continued to plant their flags in empty cities. In deep underground bunkers, human commanders watched silently. They did not cheer. They did not celebrate. Because the invasion was not the attack. It was the invitation. General Armin looked at the stars on the screen. Bring them deeper, he said softly. Make them comfortable. Above Earth, the Empire believed they had conquered another weak world. But they had just stepped inside a cage. And the door was slowly closing. By the 4th day, the Empire declared Earth secured. Imperial banners hung from the tallest buildings. Alien patrol ships moved slowly through the clouds. Official reports said the human race had surrendered without a real fight. But the reports were wrong. Something about Earth felt unnatural. Cities still had power. Lights turned on at night. Traffic systems worked. Water flowed. But the streets were almost empty. Where were the billions of humans? Imperial scanners searched for heat signatures in every major city. They detected small groups hiding in buildings, just enough to look real. But the numbers made no sense. The population had dropped too fast. Inside the Imperial flagship, Emperor Kaler studied the data. They are hiding underground, one of his generals said. Then burn them out, Kaler replied coldly. Orbital scanners targeted deep tunnels beneath North America, Europe, Asia. The Empire fired controlled plasma strikes designed to collapse underground bunkers without destroying cities. The beams hit. Mountains cracked. Deserts split open. But the tunnels were empty. Only old equipment. Old vehicles. Old supplies. It was another layer of abandonment. Kaler's jaw tightened. Where is their fleet? Human warships had not appeared once since the invasion began. No counterattack. No desperate sacrifice. Nothing. Then an Imperial science officer rushed forward. Emperor, we are detecting unusual gravitational shifts near Jupiter. The screen changed. A faint ripple moved through space near the gas giant. Explain, Kaler ordered. It appears to be artificial. Like a cloaked mass. Before the officer could finish, the ripple vanished. At the same time, 3 Imperial destroyers near Saturn lost power. Their engines shut down. Their shields failed. 30 seconds later, they exploded. This time there was no confusion. It was an attack. Return fire, the general shouted. But there was nothing visible to fire at. Back on Earth, Imperial ground forces received new orders: tighten control. Capture human leaders. Force answers. In one captured city, alien soldiers raided what they believed was a human command center. Inside, they found a single room. In the center stood a large screen. It turned on by itself. A woman appeared. Calm. Dark uniform. No visible rank. She looked directly into the alien cameras. You searched our cities, she said. You searched our tunnels. She tilted her head slightly. You never searched the silence. The transmission cut. Moments later, every Imperial ship in low orbit experienced a systems glitch. 3 seconds. That was all. 3 seconds of blindness. But in space combat, 3 seconds was eternity. Several Imperial cruisers collided. 2 defense platforms drifted off orbit and burned in Earth's atmosphere. Panic spread through the fleet. Kaler slammed his fist against the command console. Lock down all systems. Disconnect external networks. Too late. The humans were inside. Deep beneath Antarctica, in a massive hidden command center carved into ice and stone, General Armin Reyes watched the chaos unfold. Around him stood officers from every nation on Earth. No flags. No arguments. Only focus. Phase 2 successful, an engineer reported. Imperial fleet destabilized. Psychological pressure rising. Armin nodded. Have they detected the outer perimeter? He asked. Negative. Their long-range scanners remain compromised. Far beyond Pluto, hidden in deep darkness, thousands of human warships waited without lights, without signals. They had been built in secret over decades. Hidden inside asteroids. Inside hollowed moons. Inside cold space stations disguised as debris. Earth was never undefended. It was bait. Back in orbit, Kaler stared at the star map. His fleet still outnumbered anything humans could possibly have. Yet his instincts screamed warning. This planet is not conquered, he said quietly. On Earth's surface, alien troops continued marching through nearly empty streets. But somewhere in deep space, engines the size of cities began to power up. The trap was no longer forming. It was tightening. And the Empire was already inside. On the 6th day of the invasion, the Empire decided to leave. Emperor Kaler had seen enough strange events. Ships vanishing. Systems failing. Humans speaking with calm confidence. It was no longer a simple conquest. Prepare the fleet for strategic withdrawal, Kaler ordered. We will return with reinforcements. The command spread across the armada. Jump drives powered up. Warp gates aligned toward deep space exit points beyond Pluto. And then, nothing happened. Engines hummed, but space did not bend. Navigation officers checked the coordinates again. Everything was correct. Attempt jump again, a general commanded. The fleet tried a second time. Still nothing. A science officer's voice shook. Emperor, long-range scans show gravitational distortions across the outer system. Artificial distortions. The screen shifted to a wide view of the solar system. Around the Kuiper belt, thousands of small objects began to glow faintly. They were not asteroids. They were machines. Massive ring-like structures hidden in deep space activated all at once. Blue energy lines connected them in a giant web around the entire solar system. Kaler stood slowly. They built a cage. At that exact moment, communications across the fleet scrambled again. A calm human voice replaced every Imperial frequency. You cannot leave, the voice said. It was General Armin Reyes. You invaded without invitation. Now you will remain, until judgment. The transmission ended. Seconds later, space near Jupiter rippled violently. Out of the distortion came the first wave of human warships. They did not look like the old United Earth vessels recorded in Imperial archives. These ships were larger. Darker. Built for war. Hundreds became thousands. Thousands became tens of thousands. They emerged from hidden positions inside gas clouds, behind moons, and from cloaked stations floating near the sun itself. The Imperial fleet turned to face them. Kaler's generals shouted orders. Battle formations. Defensive grid now. Energy beams tore across space. The first exchange was brutal. But something strange became clear almost immediately. The humans were not attacking randomly. They targeted command ships first. Every Imperial vessel carrying high-ranking officers was hit within minutes. Precision strikes disabled bridges without destroying entire ships. Protect the flagship, a general yelled. Human ships moved with perfect coordination. No wasted movement. No fear. They had studied Imperial battle patterns carefully. In the underground command center on Earth, Armin watched multiple screens at once. Phase 3 initiated, an officer reported. Outer fleet engaging. Inner defense grid stable. Release solar interference, Armin ordered. Near the sun, hidden satellites activated, releasing controlled bursts of radiation directly toward Imperial sensor arrays. Enemy targeting systems flickered. Meanwhile, near Mars, human drone swarms emerged from beneath the planet's surface. Millions of small attack crafts filled the space between fleets like a living storm. Kaler gripped the edge of his command throne. They knew, he whispered. They had known the Empire would invade. They had prepared not just defenses, but a battlefield. Another report came in. Emperor, our outer escape route is sealed completely. The gravitational web is growing stronger. One of his advisors looked pale. We are trapped inside their star system. Kaler stared at Earth on the main screen. A small blue world. He had conquered civilizations older and stronger than this one. Planets that burned at his command. Yet this species had done something no other had ever dared. They had allowed the invasion. They had lured the Empire deep inside their territory. And now they were closing every exit. Back in space, the second wave of human capital ships arrived. These were enormous, shipyards converted into battleships. Their hulls carried marks from different Earth nations, but now they flew under one symbol. A silver circle around a blue star. Unified. A final transmission came through to the Imperial flagship. Armin appeared again. This system is locked, he said calmly. Your reinforcements cannot reach you. Your retreat is impossible. He paused. You believed humanity was divided. Weak. Slow. Behind him, dozens of human officers stood in silence. You were correct about one thing, Armin continued. We are slow. The screen zoomed out to show thousands of hidden installations lighting up across the solar system. But we planned carefully. The transmission ended. In orbit above Earth, the Imperial fleet fired desperately into the growing human formation. But for the first time in centuries, the Empire was fighting for survival. And the door of the trap had just sealed shut. The battle did not become louder. It became precise. By the seventh day, space above Earth was filled with wreckage. Broken Imperial ships drifted slowly through orbit. Fires burned in silence. Escape pods floated without direction. But the Empire was not defeated yet. Emperor Kaler stood tall inside his flagship, the Crown of Dominion. It was the largest warship ever created by the Empire. Its main weapon, the Star Cleaver, could crack a planet's core. Prepare the cleaver, Kaler commanded. A shocked officer hesitated. Emperor. Earth still contains Imperial ground forces. Kaler's eyes were cold. Acceptable loss. If he could not control Earth, he would erase it. Inside the human command center beneath Antarctica, warning alarms flashed red. Energy spike detected from Imperial flagship, an analyst reported. They are charging a planet killer. Silence filled the room. Some officers looked afraid. Armin Reyes did not. Begin Phase 4, he said quietly. Far from Earth, hidden near Neptune, a human stealth vessel transmitted a coded signal. Inside the Crown of Dominion, deep within its weapon core, something responded. A small hidden program, planted months ago. Before the invasion ever began. Back in orbit, the Star Cleaver glowed brighter. Energy gathered in its central chamber. The weapon aimed directly at Earth. Kaler raised his hand. Fire. The command was given. But the weapon did not fire. Instead, the energy inside the chamber reversed direction. Imperial engineers screamed as control panels exploded. The power meant to destroy Earth turned inward. System breach, someone shouted. The cleaver detonated inside the flagship. The blast tore through the crown of dominion from the inside out. Armor split. Energy shields collapsed instantly. Human warships had been waiting. The moment the explosion began, they moved. Targeted strikes disabled engines, weapons, communication towers. They did not destroy the flagship. They crippled it. Kaler fell to one knee as the bridge shook violently. Sparks rained from above. Smoke filled the air. "How?" he demanded. An injured officer whispered, "They were inside our systems, long before we arrived." Across the battlefield, Imperial morale shattered. Without their flagship's command link, formations broke apart. Human ships moved in controlled waves, surrounding isolated enemy vessels. Boarding craft launched. For the first time, human soldiers entered Imperial warships. They moved calmly through corridors, clearing rooms with discipline. They did not act with rage. They acted with purpose. On one captured destroyer, an Imperial captain was brought before a human officer. "You let us land," the alien captain said weakly. "You let us believe we had one." The human officer nodded slightly. Predators reveal their full strength when they think their prey is helpless. The alien lowered his head. In space, the once unstoppable Imperial fleet was falling piece by piece. But Armin gave a new order. "Do not annihilate. Disable only." Several officers looked surprised. "Sir. We can finish them." Armin's eyes stayed on the screen showing the damaged flagship. "No," he said. "The galaxy is watching." And it was true. Across distant star systems, other civilizations had been monitoring the invasion. Many had feared Earth would fall in hours. Instead, they now saw the Empire bleeding. Saw human ships outmaneuver and outthink an ancient war machine. Back on the shattered crown of Dominion, emergency power flickered. Kaler stared at a live feed of his fleet's destruction. For the first time in his long rule, doubt entered his mind. Earth had not resisted with chaos. It had resisted with patience. A transmission request appeared on his broken console. From Earth. Kaler hesitated, then accepted. Armin Reyes appeared once more. "You wanted us to kneel," Armin said calmly. Behind him stood representatives from every nation of Earth. "We chose to stand." Kaler looked at him with exhausted fury. "You could have destroyed us completely." Armin's expression did not change. "Yes." Silence filled both bridges. "You invaded our home," Armin continued. "But we are not like you." The damaged Imperial flagship drifted helplessly above the planet it came to conquer. For the first time in centuries. The Empire's crown was broken. And humanity held the blade. The battlefield grew quiet. Wreckage drifted between Earth and the Moon like a frozen storm. Fires inside broken hulls slowly died. Rescue ships moved carefully through debris, collecting survivors from both sides. Human fleets surrounded what remained of the Imperial Armada. The crown of Dominion floated powerless, its once golden armor cracked and dark. Inside the damaged flagship, Emperor Kaler sat in silence. His command throne no longer glowed. Emergency lights flickered across the bridge. His empire had ruled for thousands of years. It had never been cornered like this. A new transmission request appeared. From Earth. He knew the face that would appear. He accepted. General Armin Reyes stood in the same calm posture as before. But this time, the background behind him was different. The image showed not a hidden bunker, but the United Earth Assembly Hall. Leaders from every nation stood together. Soldiers stood beside scientists. Civilians stood beside generals. Humanity was united, not by fear, but by choice. "You have lost control of this system," Armin said quietly. "Your fleet cannot escape. Your weapons are disabled. Your command chain is broken." Kaler stared at him. "Then finish it." Armin did not answer immediately. Across the galaxy, the signal was being broadcast live. Dozens of alien civilizations watched from their own worlds. Species who had once feared the Empire now saw it wounded. You destroyed worlds, Armin said finally. You enslaved species. You believed power meant the right to rule. Kaler lifted his chin proudly. Power is rule. Armin shook his head slightly. Power is responsibility. Silence followed. Then Armin gave a simple command. Release the outer fleet. Around the solar system, the massive gravitational web began to dim. The energy rings beyond Pluto powered down one by one. Escape routes slowly reopened. Imperial officers on the damaged ships looked confused. Kaler narrowed his eyes. You are letting us leave? Yes, Armin replied. Murmurs spread through both bridges. You invaded our home, Armin continued. We defended it. That was justice. He paused. But extermination is not justice. Kaler's voice was colder now. You show mercy to a predator. That is weakness. Armin's gaze hardened slightly. No, he said. It is control. Human ships repositioned, no longer aiming to destroy, only to escort. You will return to your territory, Armin said. You will dismantle your expansion fleets. You will free enslaved systems. We will be watching. And if we refuse? Kaler challenged. At that moment, a distant explosion lit the edge of the solar system. A demonstration. One remaining Imperial warship that had secretly powered weapons was erased instantly by a hidden human platform near the sun. The message was clear. Mercy had limits. We prepared for your arrival for 30 years, Armin said. If you come again, we will not repeat this conversation. Kaler understood. He had stepped into a trap built not from anger, but from patience. The Emperor stood slowly. For the first time in our history, he said with bitter pride, the Empire retreats. Across the battlefield, Imperial ships began forming orderly lines toward the reopening jump corridors. Human fleets escorted them to the edge of the system. No celebration erupted on Earth. No cheers. Only quiet relief. In the assembly hall, Armin turned to the gathered leaders. It is not over, he said. It has only changed. Far beyond Neptune, hidden shipyards reactivated. Massive structures continued construction in deep space. Humanity did not slow its preparation. Because they had learned something important. The galaxy was not safe. But it was watching. As the last Imperial ship vanished into warp, a final human message was transmitted across known space. It was simple. We do not seek conquest. The signal echoed from system to system. But if you threaten our home. Hidden platforms powered up briefly across the solar system, glowing like silent guardians. We will let you enter. A pause. And you will regret it. The broadcast ended. Above Earth, the sky slowly returned to blue. But somewhere in deep space, new human fleets waited in darkness. Humanity did not win because it was stronger. It won because it was ready. And next time, the trap would close even faster.